Hey guys, welcome to my trip to California Adventure and Disneyland. Today I'm doing the garden tour. I'm here by myself. Last time we were with family and I noticed how inspirational so much of the plantings were, and they were so diverse for different areas and climates that when my husband had to do a business trip down here for something different, I thought I would just come on into Disneyland and just tour the gardens, take my time, go through a couple times around, get lots of clips, and then I could share them with you on my channel and blog. So let's get going. First is California Adventure, and then after 10:30 now, I will go over to Disneyland because I know there's just as many beautiful plantings there. So let's get going and enjoy the Disneyland garden tours. First thing you come in and you see these beautiful yellow roses. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do today because there's so much background noise, but I'll give it a whirl. Can't help it. I always love me a great vintage car. So cool. Of my first flower bed I'm coming upon. Look at these. Aren't they interesting? These brown tassels on top of this plant. I'll have to do a Google Lens to see what this is. Quite amazing. Look at these celoseas or celosias down here. Really fat and puffy, but they're staying nice and short. And this spot gets, it looks like a lot of shade. So interesting. And the mums, beautiful mums. These are the color that I have. So here's a perfect example of a container idea. You see the beautiful topiary, that's the mainstay that will always be in here. And then, I guess that's the thriller. And then here is the variegated ivy, which would also, in my zone, stay through the winter and be beautiful. But then in the center, you can change out the different annuals and put whatever is in season there. Right now they have the mums, but I could see this being swapped out for violas and pansies in the near future. Especially here in Southern California, the violas and pansies would do beautiful all winter. And then come spring, whatever, there could even be bulbs put in there, right in pots set in there. And then the summer, whatever summer annual would float your boat. So, great idea. Now these topiaries, I've priced them, and they're quite pricey, but if you maintain it and take care of it, it will last for years and years and years. Or you could even try doing one yourself. I think I may. So I used my Google Lens, and this is, from that identification, a foxtail millet. So very interesting. I haven't looked up where it is hardy, but I just really like that unusual plume and the color. That brown is just a great foil for the autumn tones of the mums. And I never would have thought of putting fuchsia with it, but that's why I'm here. Great ideas. I had hoped for a cloudy day, but it seems like it's going to be sunny after all. And so I'm going to be fighting shadows. But here they have the yellow daylilies, and then a more autumn toned one. And then the repeat plantings kind of make it very cohesive. And then I'll show you a planter that has these colors in it as well, just across the way. So here's that planter. You see it's got yellow petunias. It's got the same celosia, or celosia, however you pronounce it. And then I'm not sure of the bush or the evergreen, and it might be euonymus, but whatever you plant, it's just a great idea, and it mimics the colors in the flower bed across the way. Euonymus is clipped into a hedge right behind it. I love that idea. And then, of course, one of my favorites, bird of paradise. I have a painting tutorial also for this, which I need to, I think, improve, but yeah, I just love these. I keep thinking I'll buy one and overwinter it in the house, but I have yet to try it. But when nobody's coming. But I love how they have defined the area for the eating in this place with the planter boxes, and I think last time they had geraniums in them with the boxwood. I'm going to go up closer and see if they still do. Yes, it is. It's red geraniums. You can't go wrong with these beautiful red geraniums with the ivy and then whatever evergreen shrub this is. Since I'm not well known, or I should say I'm not really knowledgeable is the term I'm using for these. 1 minute, I'm getting texted by my sister. So here's what I'm talking about. These simple planters, well, simple but beautiful, beside this faux entryway. And it's simple planting, petunias, celicea, mums, and some ivy, but it's so attractive. So it would be very simple. You could buy the 6-packs of petunias, the ivy. You can start from what you have, if you have some, which I think just about everybody does. Celicea, I started mine from seed, and the mums. So very inexpensive, but this will take you into the first freeze, and then you could replace, like with pansies or violas, the petunias, and what have you, and it just would continue on to be really beautiful through the winter. This section by Garden of the Galaxies. Got the backlight, so sorry. But I know there's some interesting plantings in here that are rather different. So let's go check them out. I do have great interest in these. I cannot grow these in my garden, or they won't live through the winter. So it's really cool to see them here in an area that they thrive. But aren't they pretty? So if you had a desert area that you lived in, you really could make it beautiful. You wouldn't plant it like you would an English garden, but it has its own charm. I think these are so cool. They're like living sculptures. Isn't that a neat plant? And every one of them is different. So look at that. Isn't that foliage on that one beautiful? As I don't know what these are. Some of them, I see some sedum back there. This one, I have not been able to keep this one alive in my garden, even though it's supposedly hardy in my area. I have not been successful. And more of these little rosettes, that beautiful lavender. And then, let me move slow. I know I get going too fast. There's another one of those, just beautiful. I wonder if you could get this to live indoors, like I could overwinter inside. It's worth a try. Here's some interesting palm trees. What I caught my eye was the little orange berries on them. They just give it a pop of color that I found really quite lovely. And I think this is that. Oh, I bought some and I killed it. It was supposed to be hardy. It is hardy in my area. It's just that I brought it home during a warm time, and then we had a hard freeze, and so it didn't get to acclimate for the cold temperatures. But isn't that burgundy hue so lovely? Such a lovely contrast to like the bright new green growth on this plant here. Enter the next section. I can already tell by the planting that it is a new segment. So I'm headed for Radiator Springs and the country. I can't remember all of it. Oh, we'll say later. As I said, Radiator Springs. Some great ideas for a gravel garden, if you wished. The grasses, different plants. I like the faux little flowers. These are cool. So let's head on in. This is one of my favorite sections just because, I don't know, I like it. And I love seeing the little kids having a ball on the rides. Side, the garden behind it's pretty, but I'm loving this wonky little fence. Oops, there's my shadow. But I just saw that and thought that was so cute. Great way to use up scrap wood or pallet wood. Doesn't have to be straight. Doesn't have to have curved top. Just make it into a fence. Those fun cactus, they got these little furry spots, and it really looks like fur. Plant it down. Look at this little yellow plant down there with the flowers. Hopefully the shadow is not too much, but I think you get the picture. That's kind of cool looking. Those use faux flowers. Aren't these gorgeous? These tires. I just thought that was cute, and I had to go up and touch them to see if they were real or not. Here we're beside the Radiator Springs ride, where the cars go around. That's one of my favorite rides. But the plantings, I'd have to get in line to get all the cool plantings. I took video when we were here in 2021, and I'm sure it's still the same, but I should get in line just to get some footage of the neat cactus plantings there. This is a beauty. Look at that. Oh, and it's making a bee happy. He's in there enjoying. And there's one a little further back by the cacti that is a bit bigger. It's really quite beautiful, and I love this one, and it's got a yellow flower on it, the silver foliage. I like that one back there with a bit of purple. I'm by the Radiator Springs ride. One of my favorites. More of these cacti. They look fuzzy. You want to touch them, but you better not. They're just so cool looking. Before, one thing I like is you're entering a new section by how the planting changes immediately. Now this has more grasses and greenery. Ignore my shadow. It's a very sunny day. But this is the area where it has all the different restaurants. There's a Mexican restaurant in this section that we enjoy eating at. The food's really quite delicious. But rocks, grasses, and greenery here. So let's see what else is new. It's something I do envy. I had just done a video at Lowe's and I showed you a hibiscus that I fell in love with. Well, here's a whole big bed of hibiscus like that. Doing beautiful. And look at this one up here. Look at that bloom. Oh, just gorgeous. And those things are trees. Love it. Something flittering around here. I didn't see what it was. I was too focused on that flower. But gorgeous. My coneflower, Rudbeckia would stay short like this. I know it's because they get too much shade at times, but look at with the salvia, how gorgeous that is. The blue and the yellow. And then you come down and they have these mums. But I should say, my salvia gets really tall too. So plant it together like this with the background of the evergreens. I just love that. Can you just imagine one whole bed that? What an eye catcher that would be. My problem is I try to shove too many colors because I don't have enough space for everything I want to grow. But this is a great idea to maybe try in one area. Another example of it. Look at this. Celosia, the snapdragons, and then more salvia. Salvias are so easy, and there's such a wide range. But you can grow these from seed. I know the celosia you can, because I did. And the salvias too. But sometimes it's really easy to find these in a little 6-pack, so you're not expending a lot of money, but you're really packing a punch when you group them together with other things like this. So here's Pixar Pier and all the fun to be had. Here's some more plantings. Terracotta pots, nothing fancy, but look at the combo. And here is some more of that foxtail, I think, but this one looks even darker. I don't know if because it gets more sun, but look at the depth of that color. Isn't that just unusual? At least it's unusual for me. With the coleus and then the lime green of the creeping Jenny in there. And then over here is the greener. Oh, I see. really paying attention. Now this one has green leaves with the plumage, but this one has the dark leaves. I'm going to do a Google Lens on this and see if it says it's the same thing, which it may. There's several varieties of this plant. But anyways, totally gorgeous. And look down here, azaleas. These must be the reblooming azaleas. I just bought some in red to put in my front garden. I love this white. I may have to get some white too. But gorgeous, blooming in October. Wonderful. Over there, those palms, just love them. We'll get closer in a minute. Just a collection of pots with different plantings. There's even a Japanese maple, coleus. Quite simple and easy to find plants, but look at how planted together. It really makes a statement. So if you had a small patio, outdoor space that you wanted to plant up, you can make it gorgeous. Are those azaleas under this interesting tree and these little palms. I like these. I think these are tree ferns, but I'm not certain because I'm not super familiar with them. But from television garden shows that I watch, that's what they look like. But I love this. Underneath this planting, this tree, here all of these reblooming azaleas. It's just a nice little section, and it looks like it'd be low maintenance too, because you just mulch it real heavy and you're good to go. And a small hedge in front of boxwoods. Topiary forms like these, I think they would be so interesting. Well, at least affordable ones. I've been looking for one that's like a rooster or a chicken to make a topiary with, and what I found I haven't been impressed with, and they're super expensive. Like a little hedge made of mandinas. This looks like it's the lemony one. I can't remember the name, but I've seen it before. And look at this interesting tree it's under. Just a really neat little area. What an easy little planter you could make with a collection like this. And with one of the topiaries like I've seen before, or even Japanese maple, I think. You may know by now that I have a thing for palm trees, so they always catch my eye. Love me, so the music from it's pretty loud, but I was going to say this is a first here. And it's a bed. It's celosia and marigolds, but it's looking a little tired and worn. So I'm sure it's on their list to perk back up with new planting, but for now, it's kind of sad. It kind of looks like some parts of my garden. So I hope you can hear me over all the background noise. I may just put this to music, but I was just showing this simple bed by the swinging gondola in California Adventure, and just geraniums, salvia, and then whatever this is. Like I said, I'm not good with shrubs, but I'm sure others know what it is. But any kind of low-growing green shrub, or one that you can keep low-growing with pruning would work. So I just thought this was a great inspiration for something simple and easy and cost-effective. So this on our last trip, because I just love the repurposing of this fountain. So if you had one that was cracked or would no longer hold water, this is a perfect way to still utilize it. And all these succulents and sedums in here do make for a fantastic display of gorgeous flowers, well, plants. And some of them, the rose shapes remind you of roses, etc. So it's very inspiring. Oh, there's a little ground cover in there too. It's getting harder and harder to video, so this place was really getting even more crowded. But another planter that I thought was inspirational, simple, petunias, geraniums, and more salvias. So it seems that to make things cohesive and probably more cost effective, they use a lot of the same plantings but mix them up in different ways. And as, I don't know if you can see them, but the bees are going bonkers over these salvias. Hey garden friends, well, I think I'm done in California Adventure and got all the footage that I could possibly get. It was a little difficult, it's really filling up, but now I'm going to head over to Disneyland, and that's a whole another video. So I will bid you adieu. I hope you enjoyed this little trip to California Adventure and the gardens and all the inspiration it has to offer.